this time of the service, we're going to have two people share some personal remarks. And actually, one will be sharing on behalf of Bert. And so I'd like to invite Josie to first come and then Billy to come. And after that, they share, we'll immediately go into a song, a time of reflection, to think, a song that Sharon picked. She said it's hard to do. We have lots of musical tastes, but we're going to share a song and an opportunity for you to reflect on what we now do. So, Josie, thank you. Hurry up to the microphone, Pastor Kim, please just.
Oh, there's lots of people here. I want to see everybody. Everybody in this church today has a special relationship with Bert. Whether they were a friend, a brother, a papa, a dad, a husband, Bert had a way of making us all feel special, like we were the one. And I am extremely honored to be sharing my special story with you today. I don't remember when our families actually became close, because it's kind of always seemed like we've always been that way. So I really don't know where to say it all began. But we played so many different roles in each other's lives. Sharon was Aaron's teacher, Bert was their Allegra supplier, Andy was my sidekick at the fire department, my daughter Carrie helped take care of Miss Ethel, Chip and Aaron would spend time with Sharon and Bert when Charlie and I were out on training because nobody wanted to watch them. And Carly was the flower girl at Andy and Christy's wedding. So our lives have intertwined a lot. But the day that truly bonded Bert and I together was October the 12th, 1992. I was working for the county as a paramedic. It was a beautiful October Monday morning Columbus Day. I was dispatched for a motor vehicle accident on eastbound Route 50 at Miss B's truck stop. And as soon as I got to the scene, I knew it was bad. It was a tractor trailer reversing a car. The car was so mangled, but I knew that somebody inside was hurt really bad or worse. And then when I get to the driver's side, to my horror, it was Bert. And he was conscious, but the dashboard was literally sitting on his chest. And he was trapped. There was no way to get into him. So the only way to get in was to climb through the window on the other side. And being a bit vertically challenged, that was no small feat for me, but I got in there. And I just think it was pure adrenaline that projected me. So began our 40 minutes of terror. And I did a quick assessment, and I realized that this was really bad. He had an open annulated fractured femur. For those of you that don't know a little medical terminology, his big bone in his leg was sticking out in the wrong direction. I knew in my mind, intellectually, there had to be internal injuries. And as the fire department worked to cut Bert out, he was calm and cool. And I was calm and cool, but I was totally faking it. Bert knew that it was bad, so he began to tell me things that he said someday I could share with people, and I think today is the time to share those things. Bert told me he wasn't afraid to die because he knew he would be with Brian. His only concern was to make sure that Sharon and Andy would be taken care of. He said even with all the heartaches he'd suffered in his life, that Sharon and Andy made it all worthwhile. And I said, "Are you sure Andy did?" He said his only wish was for them to have a life full and happy. And then we talked about how he wanted to be cremated. And he told me to make him a promise. He said, "Please make sure Sharon doesn't put me in the garage with 5 Chinese food containers of ashes, cat ashes." So the good news is they're not there anymore. Sharon told me that when we talked earlier. So while I'm holding traction on his head and praying that when they lift the dash off his chest, he doesn't bleed to death, I'm desperately trying to find something brilliant or clever to say. So finally, I reached down in my own, people that know me, kind of blunt way, and I said, "Bert, shut the hell up. Nobody's dying on my shift today." So we finally got him out of the car. His leg was so twisted and broken. And I told Bert, I'm like, you know, buddy, look, this is going to really hurt like something you've never felt. And if you want to scream, that's fine. If you want to squeeze my hand, that's fine. But please don't punch me. He never flinched. He never flinched. So then my fear was, well, he's got to be paralyzed because nobody on this earth could face that kind of injury and not wince one time in pain. So we're preparing to fly him to the trauma center. And, you know, as a paramedic, those of you that are out there, you know, you become very focused and you kind of forget where you are and who you're working on. And I had my trusty shears and I'm cutting his pants off. And Bert grabs my hand and he says, Josie, keep my underwear. He said, I paid Tom Helfenbein a lot of money to lie about me when I'm gone. So, my response to Bert was, buddy, if I see something I haven't seen before, I'll scream. So from that day on, if we were out together, Sharon, Bert, and I, and you know, they know everybody, everywhere. And if a friend would come up that didn't know me, Bert would always introduce me as, hi, this is my friend Josie. She cut my pants off being on Route 50. I mean, how do you respond to that? How do you respond to that? So Bert went through a great deal from those injuries from that day. And I have never seen a braver or more courageous person with those injuries. And I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that things don't happen randomly. We all know how Bert was involved with MAN and how he had spoken to hundreds of people over the years about drunk driving. So I don't believe that it's a coincidence that Bert passed away exactly 21 years from that accident, that same exact day, 21 years, the legal drinking age. And I say, for me, that's a sign for all of us to go forward with Bert's message in his honor to work to zero deaths in this state for drunk driving. The years passed too quickly, and Robertsons and I would share trips to Deep Creek Lake, graduations, weddings, parties, and many long dinners. Our record was 5 hours when night fishing was in. Bert felt so bad he kept giving the waiters tips every hour. But we just enjoyed sitting there, and you know how Bert is, you know, just talking and enjoying each other's company. And then Sharon and Bert became grandparents, and there was a whole new level of joy in their lives. And Mike and Sam, you guys have the ultimate grandparents. You have the Santa Claus of grandparents. Every child, every adult, I wanted them to be my grandparents. You know. But the joy that you two brought them is unmeasurable and unbreakable. You have a very special angel in heaven that will always be watching you and looking out for you in your life. Andy, I'm letting you shoot your tie, just let you know. Your dad was so proud of the man you've become. And recently, this is the hard part for me now. He and I were talking, and this was very recently, about how there's no greater joy in your life than when you see your children become great parents. I've seen that in my children, he has seen that in you. So he and I decided that we had done a pretty darn good job with you guys. And, you know, and the grandparents, you know, if you're grandparents, it's the greatest thing you ever have. So we figured that all the gray hair, or in Bert's case, the lack of hair, was all birthday because that you guys gave us that. So today, we celebrate Bert's life, his love, his kindness, his wisdom, his generosity, his silliness, and even his corny jokes. And I challenge you all to be just a little bit like Bert. Every day, just do a random act of kindness in his honor. Pay it forward. This world would be a much better place if we follow his example. And I'll leave you with this one closing thought. Life is short, live it. Love is rare, grab it. Anger is bad, dump it. Fear is awful, face it. Memories are sweet, cherish them. You will be missed, my dear friends.